Before we begin, I have a question or two. Are there persons in this audience that are kind of in the category of newer and need a little introduction to who is Lord Nityananda? Because that's our topic. Any newer people that need that introduction?
They're at the back.
In the back. Hey! Hi-bo! So a little introduction while we're waiting. Oh, there's the technology. It's working. I'll assume that you all know who is Krishna. Anyone that needs an introduction to who is Krishna? You all know who is Krishna. Krishna had a brother, elder brother, whose name was? From the back row back there. Krishna's elder brother was? Come on. Balaram, right? Is my voice not going back there? What's happening?
It's not audible.
Okay, well, let's try again. I'm looking at you in the back row. This is for you senior citizens back there. So you know, Krishna is the speaker of Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna didn't take part in the battle because he had decided he wouldn't take part in the battle because it's his cousins, this side, that side. So Krishna didn't fight. He became the chariot driver of Arjuna. And Krishna's brother, he also didn't fight. Krishna's brother that didn't fight, his name was? Thank you. Balaram is, and he was elder not by a lot, by little, but he was the elder brother. And as the elder brother, as in Vedic culture, the younger brother looks up to and respects the elder brother. And then Krishna gave some teachings in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, and the conclusion of those teachings you all know, because I'm sure you know Bhagavad Gita. The conclusion of those teachings, chapter 18, text number 66, Sarvadharmam parityaja mamekam sharanam braja aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha yashami masuchaha. So Krishna teaches of all the principles of Dharma that I've given you, that anyone in this world knows, it's subordinate to one principle. What's that one principle? Mam ekam sharanam. Mam ekam, me alone, shelter, surrender, take shelter of me alone. Mam ekam sharanam. Very simple. However, shortly after Krishna's departure from this world, something happened. That something that happened was the previous yuga, Dwapara Yuga, shifted and it became the next yuga. So that's the present yuga. The present yuga is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is bad. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, all good qualities, all the virtues that were present in previous ages, gone. Manda samanda matayo, manda bhagya hupadruta. Bad and more than bad. Super bad. So what to do? Therefore, according to those of us who are followers of the Vedic tradition in the line of Lord Brahma, because there's 4 sampradayas, Brahma Sampradaya, Lakshmi Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Kumara Sampradaya, four, according to Padma Purana, four principal Sampradayas. Those of us that are in the Brahma Sampradaya, a form of Krishna predicted and forecasted in the Bhagavatam, he appeared just after Krishna departs in the next yuga, on the 28th yuga cycle of Vaivasvata Manu, to be specific. So we're in yuga cycles during the reign of the Manu number 7. That's Vaivasvata Manu, and he appeared as Krishna himself in the mood and the complexion of the dearmost devotee of Krishna. Who is the dearmost devotee of Krishna? Srimati Radharani. And Radharani's complexion is golden. So Krishna himself appeared in a golden complexion. Gora. Golden. And in the mood of Radha, in the bhava, Radha bhava duti suvalitam, naumi Krishna swarupam. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in 2 weeks' time, almost a little more than 2 weeks' time, will be observing the appearance day of Gauranga, or Lord Chaitanya, his appearance day. But his appearance day, because he has an elder brother, his elder brother's name was Nityananda. And just yesterday, we observed his appearance day. As Balaram is to Krishna, Nityananda is to Lord Chaitanya. And that's who we're honoring today, yesterday, and again today. Lord Nityananda. And he was of fair complexion. He was traditionally dressed in blue garments, like Krishna was dressed in yellow garments, pitavas. So Lord Nityananda, different, but the brother dressed in blue garments, and in the mood, as Balaram was in the mood of, although he's the elder brother, of simply assisting the desires and for helping to fulfill the desires of his younger brother, Krishna. He was assisting Krishna. Elder brother assisting the younger brother. That's okay. There's nice examples of that. What a nice example of that. Here's a nice example of that. During Krishna's pastimes, he had a mother and a father. Of course, he has no mother, no father. But he appeared in the prison house of Kamsa. Krishna appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. So because he was the son of Vasudeva, he was also known as Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva. And the very night that he was born in the prison house of Kamsa, he showed a four-armed form, like, hey, I'm not your son. check it out. The personality of Godhead. And he wasn't in a little baby form, he was in a full adult stature. Munificent, very opulent. And Vasudeva offered prayers, Devaki offered prayers, and Devaki, one of her prayers was, when Kamsa finds out, he's already killed 6 of my children, when he finds out the 8th child of Devaki has been born, he'll come in this prison cell to try to kill you. Could you assume a childlike form? So maybe we can hide you somewhere here in the prison cell. Very reasonable, right? So Krishna assumed a childlike form. But before he did so, Krishna requested, after I assume a childlike form, Vasudeva, can you carry me to the other side of the river Jamuna and place me in the care of Nanda? and Yashoda. So for the first 11 years, Krishna was in the care of Nanda and Yashoda. And then he traveled to Mathura. Nanda and Yashoda. Foster father and foster mother. But they didn't know that was their child. And they loved him like their child. So the father that raised Krishna, his name was Nanda. But he had an elder brother. There are 5 brothers. This is an example of the elder brother deferring to the younger brother. That's why I'm telling the story. So when it came time, because there's a procedure, when the father retires and turns the kingdom over to his eldest son, there was a ceremony, and he was going to turn the kingdom over to Upananda, who was the eldest of the 5 brothers. And Upananda said, I'm Upananda, and he's Nanda. I'm near, and he's Nanda. Upa, near. So he should be the king. And Nanda accepted, and he became the king of the cowherds. So that's an example where the younger brother may take the superior position, that not disrespecting his elder brother, but as the younger brother, he takes a particular role. So Krishna did like that also, and Lord Chaitanya did like that also. He had a elder brother, significantly elder brother, by 20 years elder, but there's the elder brother that became the servant of the younger brother. And the particular service that he did, one of the services that he did, was he functioned as the one who gave love for Lord Chaitanya to others, just as Balaram gave love for Krishna to others. It's a guru function, a guru tattva function. As Balaram is a manifestation of Guru Tattva, that means anyone subsequent to Balaram was a representative of him, and the duty of someone who is representing him is to represent him. You just give the teachings that Krishna gave, and in the mood of Balaram to increase the love for Krishna in others, that's a guru function, as Balaram did in relation to Krishna. So Lord Nityananda, as the elder brother of Lord Chaitanya, or Gauranga, the golden avatar, that's what he did. So we're spending some time today discussing this feature. In the previous days, we've had 3 classes just chronologically covering his life from his early life and middle life, and then yesterday evening we heard about the final portion of his life. Very interesting personality. Transcendental personality. We would expect that he would be transcendental, but transcendental where it doesn't look normal. That's expecting unexpected with Lord Nityananda, because that's what he did. So there's going to be a little song about Lord Nityananda, and who's the singer of this song?
Nandakish.
Really? Do you have the words? Okay. So he's a nice singer, and here's the nice words. And we have our 2 ears.
Should we read the translation first?
Huh?
Should we read the translation
At the end. At the end. I'll read it. There's a nice microphone here.
Nityananda Akrodha para Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Abhimana shunya nitai nagar bedai
Abhimana shunya nityai nagari
Adama patita jivera dvare dvare giya
Patita jivera
Harinama Mahamanta Dichena Bilaya
Harinama
Jare dekhe tare kahe Dante trinadari
Jare dekhe tare kahe Dante trinadari
Amare keniya laha bala gorahari
Amare keniya laha bala
Eta bali Nityananda Bhume gadi jaya
Nityananda Omega Dija
Sonara parvata jena Dulate lotaya
Sonara Parvata Jena Dulate
Henavatare jara Rati na janila
Ratina Jani
Lochana bale se papi ela ragela
Lochana se papi ela aragela
akroda paramananda Nityanandara
Akroda Paramananda Nityanandara
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare
Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram
This song is taken from a book, a biography about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called Chaitanya Mangala, and the author is Lochan Das Thakur, a great devotee of both Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Here's the translation. The noble Lord Nityananda is never angry, for he is the personification of supreme transcendental bliss. Devoid of any concept of false ego, Nitai wanders about the town, going from door to door. In the residences of the most fallen and wretched souls, he freely distributes the gift of the Harinam Mahamantra. He exclaims to whomever he sees, while holding straw between his teeth, "Please purchase me," by worshipping Gora Hari. Saying this, Nityananda rolls about on the ground, appearing like a golden mountain tumbling in the dust. Lochan Das Thakur says, whoever has not experienced the awakening of affection for such an avatar as this, that sinful person simply comes and goes uselessly in the cycle of repeated birth and death. Pretty strong language. So here's another nice drawing, an illustration of Lord Nityananda. And I'm going to now present two things. First, some teachings from scripture that indicate specifically what does this mean, Guru Tattva, and what does it mean that Lord Nityananda is that person. The first reference is from a different author. This is Vrindavan Das Thakur, who compiled another biography of Lord Chaitanya called Chaitanya Bhagavat. And in Chaitanya Bhagavat, he expresses, as the Supreme Jagat Guru, Sri Nityananda Prabhu alone is the origin of Guru Tattva. Now, there's one way of saying he is carrying that power, that potency, or that tattva, and another is here. He's the origin of that. In either case, he delivers not only Lord Chaitanya, but love for Lord Chaitanya, Krishna Prema or Gora Prema. And in a different book, Vrindavan Das Thakur writes, the ultimate goal of life is the attainment of Krishna Prema. This is possible only by the mercy of Sadhu Guru. Sri Nityananda Prabhu is the sum total of all gurus, or Samasti Guru. He is Guru Tattva. All individual gurus, Vyasti, are representations of Sri Nityananda. So there's two Sanskrit terms, Samasti and Vyasti. Samasti is the totality of all living entities. For example, when the living entities during the time of cosmic annihilation, Samasti Jivas, all living entities are drawn within the body of Mahavishnu. And then, zoom, there they go, when it's time for creation again. And then each individual Jiva, that's Vyasti, just Sanskrit terminology, Samasti Vyasti. So he is the sum total of all gurus, Samasti Guru. And thus he's any living entity, any person that's performing the Guru Tattva function, he's a representative of Sri Nityananda. Now here's a very nice photograph of Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta. Very stern looking and renounced looking, and he was throughout his whole life a Naishtika brahmachari sannyasi. And one of the things that he did is he had a periodical, one in Bengali, one in English. And the English title of this periodical is like a paper or magazine, The Harmonist. And he wanted followers or disciples to contribute to The Harmonist. And he also wrote articles. This is drawn from one of those articles, 1931. The manifestation of Guru in the form of Sri Nityananda is the title. The Guru is the embodiment of the manifestation of the divinity to the pure receptive spiritual essence of the disciple. This is his language, what to do. It's his language, it's not a translation, it's his English language, his second language. Nityananda is the primary manifestive constituent of the divinity. Very precise language. Nityananda alone possesses the distinctive function of the Guru. In Nityananda, the function is embodied. Nityananda is the servant God. He serves Sri Gaurasundara by the distinctive method of reverential service, reverential servitude. He is identical with Balaram, of Krishna Lila. Balaram is not the chum of Krishna. A little slang in the middle of his nice language. But his respected elder brother. It is an intimate relationship characterized by becoming reserved on one side and of respectful deference on the other. It's nice. I'll say it again. It is an intimate relationship characterized by becoming reserved on one side and of respectful deference on the other. Individual souls are under the direction of Nityananda. They receive their service of Sri Gaurasundar, namely of Krishna, at his hands. Well, it's just simply an article indicating the role or the function of Guru Tattva and Nityananda's role in that capacity. Now, this is a verse from Chaitanya Bhagavat, and there's a verse, and then there's going to be a purport. The purport is Bhaktisiddhanta's purport. It's the same, unique language. So here's the verse. Anyone who wants to cross the material ocean and merge in the ocean of devotional service must worship the lotus feet of Nityananda. Then his commentary. Nityananda Prabhu is the master of the transcendental kingdom. One who is conditioned by material existence cannot serve him with his gross or subtle bodies, but if by the causeless mercy of Nityananda Prabhu one is freed from the desire for material enjoyment, in other words, free from the conception of I and mine related with the gross and subtle bodies, and one hankers to be merged in the ocean of service to the absolute truth, then he should simply serve Nityananda Prabhu with his body, mind, and speech. Nityananda Swarup is the personified manifestation of Sri Chaitanya. So that's the description of the Guru Tattva function, specifically in relation to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the giver of love and loving service to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Nityananda. Here's a nice example. Now we're going into a few examples. We're going to give 3 examples. And at the end, I'm going to invite all of you to offer examples of how Nityananda serves as the Guru Tattva function. So this painting is indicating a pastime that took place where one of the eternal associates of Lord Chaitanya was a little boy at the time of this painting, and his name was Jiva. Jiva was the nephew or the son of one of 3 brothers who were very dear devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Those 3 devotees, you've heard their names. Many of you have heard their names before. Sanatana Goswami was the elder, Sanatana. His younger brother was Rupa, and the 3rd brother was Anupam. Sanatana, Rupa, and Anupam. So Anupam had a son. His name was Jiva. And something happened. His father died when he was just a little boy. And his 2 elder brothers, in course of time, his 2 elder brothers, they also left their family home and went to be eternal in the service of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Vrindavan. It's a long story, how that happened, but that's what happened. So here's this little boy. he was with his father when his two uncles had already gone to be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then when his father died, he was left alone with his mother. And he, a little boy, had since his childhood, he had heard all about Lord Chaitanya because they were devotees of Lord Chaitanya, his two uncles and his father, very dear associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he, as a little boy, he had a strong desire to visit the place where Lord Chaitanya appeared. And those of you that are newer, you don't know where this is, but you can take a guess. It's in Bengal, right? Like that song was. So in Navadweep, Navadweep, it's a place of 9 islands where tributaries of the Ganges move around pieces of land that form the shape of islands. And the area was known as Navadweep. And that's where Lord Chaitanya appeared. So a little boy, all alone, with the permission of his mother, he wanted to visit Navadweep. But, what do I do when I get there? So it's a big adventure. However, the omniscient Nityananda pictured here, he knew he was coming. And so he met him before he got there. And the young Jiva is very respectfully hearing Nityananda, who eventually took him there, but he's describing the place of the appearance place of Lord Chaitanya in Navadweep. And in the course of describing, Nityananda, tells what the future of Navadweep is going to look like. So it's an agricultural village, largely. Rice, very prominent. Bengalis like rice. I mean, most people like rice. So, and vegetables and other very, simple agricultural lifestyle. And that's the primary occupation in Navadweep. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in a Brahmana family. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, had the occupation as a young boy of being a teacher of Sanskrit grammar. And he was a good teacher. And he had a lot of students because he was a really good teacher. I mean, personality got it. It's got to be a good teacher, right? And he was the best. There's many other, so there's nice childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So Jiva, wanted to see the places because he had heard about these pastimes from his uncles and his father, and he wanted to see. So Nityananda is describing what it's going to be like in the future. And the painting is illustrating there's a very tall building with a gold dome, and it's going to mark the place for the whole world to know about the appearance place of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that prophecy is coming true. The Prabhupada's vision, this is those of you that are newer, the founder of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada, described, he didn't make the connection to what Nityananda described to Jiva, but he was describing what Nityananda was telling Jiva. There should be a very nice temple that the whole world will want to come and see. And Prabhupada gave it a different name. He called it the Temple of Vedic Planetarium. What does that mean? Most temples are places where there's deities. And a planetarium is, like what you have in Washington, D.C. Something that showcases the picture of cosmology. Because the fifth canto of Bhagavatam has a whole description of cosmology, the structure of the universe, the details and details and details. And so Prabhupada gave the assignment to some of his disciples to figure out not only how to make this structure happen, but how put inside it where astronomers and scholars and, people that are curious and everybody and their brothers can come to this place and see the structure of the universe, 3-dimension. And then narrations that depict from this part of fifth canto and that part of fifth canto. What's up there? Up there means the upper structure of the universe. So we know that there is a structure to the universe. At least we know Bhumandala, Bhuvarloka, and Swargaloka. We know of those three, right? Swarga, heaven. Everybody knows about heaven. Who doesn't know about heaven? Some people may not know, but most people know. And then above Swarga, what's above Swarga? Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Brahmaloka. And then the covering of the universe. So there are an amazing group of devotees that have taken on the service of developing a structure for the Vedic planetarium. This thing that you see on the screen here. Now that's Prabhupada's addition to what this big towering temple would have inside it. But that's what's going to be inside it. So he, then Nityananda, took Jiva to Navadvip. He took him to all the places and then sent him to the next destination. Because remember, he's just a young boy. And he's destined to become a great acharya. So he had to have his education, Sanskrit education. So he sent him to a place where he could get his Sanskrit education, where he stayed for a number of years. Madhusudana Saraswati became his Sanskrit teacher, and then he shifted and went to Vrindavan. So that's it. By the mercy of Nityananda, one can get the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Here's another nice example. Some of us have been together. We've seen this, and I'll describe it again for those that may not have seen it. This is a situation where another one of the Goswamis, we've mentioned 3 already, Rupa, Sanatana, and Jiva Goswami. That's 3. And there's 6 principal personalities. And one of those 6 was Raghunath Das Goswami. The background was different, but becoming an eternal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. That's what Guru Tattva means, and that's what Lord Nityananda did. So a little quick, it's a very lengthy description, but Raghunath Das was the only son of one of the most wealthy families in all of India. They were, much of India at that time was under Muslim rule. So there's a Muslim king, and the Muslim king he delegated parts of his kingdom to landholders, and then landholders had the responsibility to pay taxes to the king. So the landholder designated somebody as his tax collector, the annual taxes, and without all the details. The family of Raghunath Das were in that kind of in that position, but kind of not in that position. Anyway, they worked out a deal with the king that they could just collect the taxes and give it directly, and then keep 1/4 of what they collected. Somehow they got wealthy. I don't know how that happened. Very wealthy family. Very wealthy family. And they had only one son. And that one son was due to inherit the wealth of his family. There was one problem. What's that? He had no interest at all in anything material. He had no interest at all. In fact, he had the opposite. Now, his parents, there's details and details and details, his parents were Vaishnavas. And in their family, they had a family guru who was a Vaishnava. And that Vaishnava guru was a very close associate of Advaitacharya, who was a very close associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Guess what? There's some affinity for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in their family. But not at the expense of leaving it all. So the elder son, the only son, didn't want it. There's details and details and details. He met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu twice. And he tried running away, because his father, wealthy father, captured him every time he ran away and brought him back because he knew, his father knew, he wants to go leave us and go be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. No way. He's going to stay here and take our wealth and do what we're doing. And the son was, no way, I'm not going to do that. So there's a little tension. And he tried this and tried that. These details and details described. Finally, he realized that, Raghunath Das realized, I'm not going to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya without the mercy of Lord Nityananda. The very next day, he heard about a big festival, a Sankirtan festival that was happening in a place not far from his family home, in a place called Panihati, not far from his family home. So he went to that big festival, and in the crowd of the big festival, there at a distance, he saw Lord Nityananda in the midst of an assembly of renunciates and many Vaishnavas and chanting and dancing and big Sankirtan festival. So at a distance, when he saw Lord Nityananda, he paid his obeisances. Lord Nityananda called him. He knew who he was because he's omniscient. And he chastised him. What do you think you're doing trying to hide from me? You come here at once. This misconduct should be punished, trying to hide from me. I give you a punishment. You have to feed everybody. Chipped rice and yogurt, and chipped rice and condensed milk. Big festival. Because they have a big kirtan, they have to have a big feast, right? So he's super wealthy, or the son of a super wealthy father. He was very happy. He's got lots of money and spent that lots of money to feed all the Vaishnavas. Long story short, as you see in this painting, at the end of the big festival and everyone had eaten sumptuously, again, Nityananda called him forward and placed his foot on his head and blessed him, saying, your anxiety that you want to meet Lord Chaitanya, I know. However, because you've pleased him very much, here's another painting that shows during the course of this festival of feeding everybody, you see the clay pots there on the right? That's where they were eating from. And then Lord Chaitanya came and danced with the devotees. Because of this submissive service, Lord Chaitanya has already given you his mercy. And in a number of days, you'll be able to join him in Jagannath Puri. When you go to Jagannath Puri, he gave him a forecast. He'll place you in the care of Srup Damodar, and Srup Damodar will take care of you like a younger brother and train you thoroughly in the process of devotional service. Everything's going to be nice. Go back home. So he went back home. And there's details and details. When he went back home, he found a clever way to get away in the dead of night. and for something like 10 days, 12 days, traveled through a jungle because he didn't want to go on the main road because his father would find him and bring him back. So, details and details. Some days later, he made his way to Puri. And immediately Lord Chaitanya embraced him. Because he recognized, because they had met. So by the mercy of Nityananda, this is the punchline. By the mercy of Nityananda, Raghunath Das got the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Without which, it wouldn't have happened. He tried. He's very intelligent, very practical. It didn't happen. And here's another example. And when we're done with this third example, I'm going to ask all of you for some examples. Just class participation, please. In the painting, there's a painting here on the screen that shows the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, whose name was Krishnadas Kaviraj. Krishnadas. Krishnadas had a brother. His brother's name was Shamadas. Krishnadas Shamadas. And Shamadas, in his home, he wanted a big festival, and he invited many people to come. And during the festival, it was a kirtan festival, over on the side, there was a brahmana that was doing deity worship. The brahmana's name was Gunarnava Mishra. Nice Bengali name. Gunarnava Mishra. And the Bengali brahmana, Gunarnava Mishra, had faith in Lord Chaitanya, but he didn't have faith in Nityananda. And didn't have faith in Nityananda in part because Nityananda was sometimes like an avaduta. He didn't dress normally, he didn't behave normally, he didn't act normally. It was a little hard to understand. So he didn't have that kind of faith in Nityananda that he had in Lord Chaitanya. And Nityananda had a number of very close followers and disciples, and one of them is named Miniketan Ramdas. So if you don't remember the names, that's okay. Miniketan Ramdas was an avaduta also. Very elevated. By his presence, he was effulgent, smiling, very happy, and able to speak very eloquently. And when he came to this festival, all the people in the festival immediately recognized him. Not his physical feature, but his spiritual presence. And they offered their obeisances. Except for one person. The one person was Gunarnava Mishra. And he didn't because, for two reasons. There's an external reason and there's an internal reason. The external reason, he was engaged in deity worship. And those of you that have been engaged in deity worship, you know it's a standard. Once you start the deity worship, you don't interrupt. And so don't interrupt a pujari when he's in the middle of deity worship, because like when somebody's chanting Gayatri, that's it. Let them finish their Gayatri chanting, and then they can have conversation. So Gunarnava Mishra was in the midst of his deity worship. So he didn't offer respect. But there's a rule that supersedes that rule. And that rule that supersedes, if there's an exalted personality that comes in your presence, even while you're doing deity worship, you stop the deity worship and offer respects, and then resume your deity worship. Just like that. That's an etiquette principle. So Gunarnava Mishra didn't offer respects to Miniketan Ram. And so this is Shamadas, the host of this festival. He saw what happened And so did Krishnadas Kaviraj, his brother. And Krishnadas Kaviraj was pictured on the left with his palms folded like this. He scolded Gunarnava Mishra. He said, you're like a second Romaharshan Sutta. What was Romaharshan Sutta's history? Romaharshan Sutta was the son of Sutta Goswami. And Sutta Goswami was one of Vyasadev's disciples who was entrusted with all the Puranas to maintain and preserve them and speak them. So one time, Parashara Muni, Romaharshan Sutta was speaking from the Bhagavatam in front of a big audience, and Balaram came. Everyone in the audience paid obeisances except for Romaharshan. And Balaram took exception. You know the story. Many of you know the story. So Balaram took one blade of grass and held the blade of grass and touched the chest of Romaharshan Sutta, and he instantly died. It was like a sword or something. Just a blade of grass. And then the assembly saw all this happen, and they said to Balaram, the person who was speaking to us is now dead. Balaram said, no, if you want, I can bring him back to life. No, what you did is, it's done. So another person was given the responsibility to speak following Romaharshan Sutta, a qualified person. And a qualified person is one who recognizes that there's an elevated person, and the elevated person, in this case, was Balaram. He should be offered respect. One who is unprepared to offer respect to one who is worthy of respect, he's an offender. And so that's what, again, Krishnadas Kaviraj said to Gunarnava Mishra, you're an offender. You're a second Romaharshan Sutta. And because of disrespecting Miniketan Ram, it's disrespecting a great Vaishnava, you immediately fall down. At once you will fall down. It doesn't say what happened, but he fell down from his spiritual position as a Brahmana. And the brother, that's Krishnadas Kaviraj's brother, his name was Shamadas. Shamadas also, he supported Gunarnava Mishra, and he fell because for the same offense. So one was just speaking something bad about a Vaishnava, or neglecting to properly respect, and then supporting one that was doing so. They both fell from their spiritual position. It's very problematic. And Miniketan Ramdas was really upset by this whole scene. He had a flute. He broke his flute and threw it away and left the scene. And that very night, here's the lesson. That very night, Krishnadas Kaviraj had a dream. In the dream, he saw Lord Nityananda waving his arm. He had a stick in his hand, and there were many devotees that were honoring him. And Nityananda, spoke directly to Krishnadas, you did the right thing. You're in such a position, you shouldn't stay here. You should at once leave and go to Vrindavan and take shelter there in Vrindavan. And so before the morning rose, before the sun came up the next morning, he just left. Like, he didn't take his computer with him or his cell phone, or he just left. And spent the rest of his life in Vrindavan. And in the course of time in Vrindavan, Krishnadas, got the association of very advanced associates of Lord Chaitanya. by the mercy of Nityananda, he got that favor. No, he took some right action, but it's by the mercy of Nityananda. He got that mercy of Lord Chaitanya's associates. And so similarly, the principle, this is the Guru Tattva principle, that the Guru Tattva gives association of the Supreme Lord, gives service to, and reveals the truths about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Nityananda is such a personality. There are other examples. And now this is an invitation for any of you in the room to offer some other examples. Sachi Sutta, look at this.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. My thoughts are going towards the first interaction of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nityananda Lord Nityananda broke Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's danda at Dandabhaga.
Yeah.
And it leads an opportunity when for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go alone and worship, and he fell in trance, and that provides opportunity for Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to serve him, take him to his house. I don't know. I'm just...
Yes, I got him following. So what's the punchline?
Nityananda's mercy to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in worshipping Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally.
There was some stuff that happened in between. Something that happened in between is, this is a deep, for those of you that are newer, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was super scholar.
Mm.
We're going to hear about Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya on Sunday, by the way, in relation to Lord Chaitanya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was super scholar. And so he had in his home a sannyasi, 24-year-old sannyasi, who was in trance. And he wanted to find out if he's cheating. And he knew how to do so. How do you tell if someone's in trance or not? He took a ball of cotton, took some strands of cotton from the ball of cotton, and held it before his nostril. And if the person is faking, then the strand of cotton is going to move because the breathing of normal breathing, the strands of cotton are going to move. But there was no movement, which meant his life airs were suspended, which means he was in trance. He was like, okay, he's the real thing. Then he tried to revive him in different ways that he knew, because he's a super scholar, but nothing worked. And then Nityananda came, because they were searching for where was Lord Chaitanya. They found he was taken to the home of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And so Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had an opportunity to meet Lord Nityananda. And then Lord Nityananda demonstrated they knew what to do. They just chanted the holy name, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, very loudly. And the trance broke. Lord Chaitanya came to external consciousness. He looked around the room. So now he knew where he was. He was in Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's home instead of on the floor. And that led to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya getting more of Lord Chaitanya's mercy by the mercy of Nityananda. Nice example. Jivana Jivana. Do you have the microphone back there? This is going to work. Just hand off the microphone.
The example I wanted to offer is assigned by Nityananda to serve South India for 2 years. We had this amazing opportunity to see deviated. He got captured by the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rejected. I want to have nothing to do with this person. God said, what's that? Nityananda Prabhu on the song Pakhoda Brahma. Doesn't get angry, rather than great compassion to what the most things do. To go take me down and to tell everyone else in the world the glories of appreciation of how, despite our great when you get engaged with personified.
Transcendental creating sense of ourselves.
Can make offense. And that happens from time to time. When unqualified persons get mercy, but they don't understand it. Go ahead.
And so it's very exemplary how Jivananda Sen processed that chastisement.
Yeah.
He took it as just, even though it was so severe that your son will die, and that our families are our greatest attachments, but it's just so very moving to see the heart of Shivananda Sen in accepting that.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. The song that was sung today, where Nityananda Prabhu goes door to door, that especially to the holy, that accords with our yesterday.
But if it is yours who are well wishers, who may be seeing the blind spots, trying to tell, the mind actually goes to the friends and say, yeah, this is my point of view, for in that direction. So just would like to see some guidance on how do we take it. Sometimes it may be true, they may have a point, sometimes it may not be true. So to be blindly just take everything away.
If someone sees something, this relationship to share this. For example, I do this with did it ever happen to you that you went out of your way to do an act, some kindness, some act to help another person, and you sincerely meant it, and somehow or another they read it just the opposite, and they may say something or not say something, but you find out later if they didn't say something that's how you know, because they feel you blankety blank person, you gave me some hurt, some pain. Whoa. So perception doesn't match reality always. So some dialogue just so that you can be clear on the perception. And not like give 20, no, it's not like that. Just see, here are these 20 examples where it's not like that. So a grain of truth in words, but then if some feedback comes, then be more circumspect in a certain area of speech or conduct. That's my advice. You process acknowledging and then look more carefully, and then going forward in time, you be more vigilant than you were yesterday about this type of dynamic. And is this something that I have a blind spot and a tendency to transgress? Okay. Anything else? Okay. Looks like we're done. See the Prabhupada.